I did a post a little while back on women who love to buy affection and spoil men with money and gifts. And I have a commenter, and I want to take some time to respond to that. So, hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones. I'm a licensed therapist. This commenter says, Dr. Jones, as a gay man, 90% of my friends are women, and the majority of them love to spoil, take care of men. I never understood that. In fact, it is something that I have judged women on. So I have a couple of thoughts, just about this comment in general. So it's and respectfully, of course. So my response is meant to be respectful. It's interesting that 90% of your women friends are women who love to take care of and spoil men, and there's a bit of resentment there or a bit of judgment there, in watching you observe this. So the first part of me wonders if you are a man who likes to be spoiled and taken care of by women, so you surround yourself with women who do that. Or two, if you are also a person who likes to spoil and take care of men, and therefore like attracts like. So those will be my first two things that I would wonder about. And again, this is respectful, no judgment, and you don't have to respond. Um, but going back to what you were saying, there are, a lot of women out there who love to spoil and take care of men and don't see anything wrong with it. And I think it goes back to, a lot of it goes back to societal, familial conditioning, right? Because how many of you out there have heard people say, "Oh, well, she can't keep a man." You're not taking care of a man's needs. If you're not, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Men wants a lady in the streets, but a freak in the sheets. So there's all these like old time like phrases where it's like, okay, women have to sort of cater to their man. I mean, even Beyonce, cater to you, right? All these songs, conditionings and things like that, where it's like women are supposed to do things to take care of men, to appease men through the gays and things like that. I mean, there's magazines that are dedicated to this stuff. The entire makeup industry is built off of this, right? So you have like Cosmopolitan, you do those quiz. Did you satisfy your man? All these kind of things. If you didn't get 9 out of 10, then you were not satisfying your man, says Cosmopolitan, right? Or yeah, all these other things. And so there is a lot of conditioning that goes into it. I would say a lot of times it may go into it, uh, go more so into developing women than it does with men. I mean, you have to learn how to cook, you have to learn how to clean, you have to learn how to do all these things. So a lot of times it starts from early childhood. So you have how girls are raised versus how boys are being raised. And so girls are often being raised to be a wife. They are being raised to be a mother. So what that means is girls are taught, and a lot of girls develop faster than boys, but they are also taught from a very early age how to cook, clean, manage a home, things like that. So there's a lot of that going around. I won't say that there's not exceptions to the rule, because there certainly can be, but by and large, girls are taught from a very early age how to be responsible, how to watch other siblings and things of that nature. Whereas when it comes to boys are given a lot of leeway when it comes to discipline. Boys will be boys. Oh, that's just how he is. Well, look after your brother, that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of like leeway around that. You also have people that don't want to be alone. you have women that don't want to be alone, but you also have women that grew up in a lot of abusive or neglectful households. And in abusive households, it could have been a lot of the interactions that they saw their mothers or other women having in exchange with men, but also, too, not having a father figure and being neglected or being taught very early on that money and gifts give you acceptance. But also, too, and it kind of saddens me to say this. There are a lot of people out there who spoil and put that energy out there when they're really looking to get that energy back. So you have women that are spoiling men who really they are looking to be spoiled, they're looking to be nurtured, and they're looking to be cared for. And so they think if they put that out there, then the man will see the light and will reciprocate their actions back to them in love and nurture on them as well. And so a lot of these women are, what you're finding is they're putting the feelers out. They're trying to discover, they're trying to even just find morsels of love, morsels of connection, and people to accept them. However, they're doing it in a way where they can buy affections. There's also other women out there. There's a culture of women out there that say, "Hey, I don't mind being a sugar mama. Listen, if you don't got it, I got it. Come on, I'm gonna upgrade you." Also, again, another Beyonce song, "Let Me Upgrade You." But so I think a lot of that again comes from the music and things like that, and society, especially in African American culture, but also too, women that are just okay with saying, you know what, I make a good amount of money. I don't mind, having a younger boyfriend or somebody that I need to take care of because I got it. And you've heard women famously say this on TV, like, on The Real Housewives. They talked about how I don't care, if I have to buy his whole lifestyle, that's my business. So there are these women out there that do that. And culturally speaking, there's also been a shift, just in the dating culture in general. Recently, you have people talking about doing the whole 50-50, or men that say, "Hey, I want to be a passenger princess," and things like that. So there is a shift in the culture at large as well. But a lot of times when you have women that are spoiling men and loving to take care of men, a lot of them have been conditioned to do so through an abusive and neglective household. Again, there are exceptions. But a lot of that could be also they're looking to get that in return. And so there's this outward pouring before they get into a relationship with someone. There's this outward pouring of that, and with the hopes that they will somehow get that back. Thanks so much for bringing this up. Hope that helps. Like, share, give me a follow, and definitely subscribe to the newsletter if you want to be kept abreast of things that are going on. And I'll send out a weekly one. Thank you so much. Bye bye.